Let's talk about how you could use AI to help one recruit and then also just with your overall Dynasty experience. So for this, I'll have a couple different prompts that you can put in the chat GPT. Whatever AI tool you want to use, don't matter. You can put it in there and it'll essentially help improve your Dynasty. Also give you some good ideas to use for your Dynasty. If y'all do enjoy this content, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Go over to my Twitch for my live stream series. We're probably going to be live tonight. So like I mentioned, Chat GPT is a very useful tool, man. So what I did, you could do this on your phone. You could do this online, whatever. You can use the app. What I did, could you help me with College Football 25, the video game? I want to start a Dynasty, but I do not know what team to pick. Could you give me 3 teams to pick and the storyline / recruiting restrictions I can use? And they actually done a phenomenal job. We're going to go over a couple of these, pretty much what they gave me for this Dynasty that I asked for. So the first school they'll give me, if you do the same exact prompt, they'll likely give you different schools. What they gave me is San Diego State and Mountain West School, and the storyline is called The Sleeping Giant of the West, which is pretty cool. Even gives you like a little bit of, of a short paragraph about, essentially hyping up the program, giving you some motivation to get into it. And the recruiting restrictions is what I'm actually interested in, man. It's actually like pretty good. California pipeline. You could only recruit players from California, Arizona, Nevada, Hawaii until you win your first conference championship. That's pretty good. Next, we have 3-star limit. Only recruit 3-star players or below for the first 3 seasons. That's pretty good. Listen, another pretty good just restriction, especially for its AI, man, and they're able to come up with this stuff. Also, transfer portal focus, man. San Diego is a hot spot for transfers. You might want to bring in at least 3 transfer players each season. All right, so you got to bring in 3 transfers. And then it gives you an overall goal, man. Win the Mountain West, land at least a 5-star California recruit. That's a pretty big or pretty nice goal. That's actually pretty realistic for the San Diego team. And then also secure a spot in the college football playoffs within 6 seasons. I don't know. That's pretty good, man. That's pretty good. Next, we have Vanderbilt, which is going to be a SEC rebuild, the smart underdogs of the SEC, man. Vandy is an SEC doormat, but you're here to change that while staying true to academic prestige of the university. You'll need to outsmart your opponents on the field and on the recruiting trail. And the recruiting restrictions is actually based around academic prestige. Man, Vandy is a very good school for the academics. For football, it's getting there. They did beat Alabama this past year, but they're still just over the past 10 years one of the worst teams in the SEC. But they're getting there. Like I said, they are getting there. And the academic prestige, you can only recruit players with 3.0 or higher GPA. So the way I think you put this whole academic prestige thing in the game is essentially you only recruit players that have that as a motivation or a deal breaker, academic prestige, or they even gives you, if the games allow the academic prestige filter, it does not. So it say you could only recruit players with high academic states like California, New York, and Massachusetts. I actually didn't know that about New York or Massachusetts, but that's pretty cool. So you can only recruit players in those 3 areas because apparently they have pretty good school systems. And then also they want you to do no transfers. And that's fine. That's not going to be too difficult. Transfer portal not that good in this game anyway. And then also low star ceiling, man. You can sign no more than 2 4-star players until you win an SEC championship. And then the goal, break the 500 barrier in the SEC within 3 years. Win a conference title before 7 years. Bonus if you defeat Alabama or Georgia along the way. It's pretty good. That's pretty good. You could add whatever you want to it. You could also, this is a generic thing I gave them. You could add more. I only wrote a couple sentences here. If you want to be more detailed, you could add more information and they'll be more detailed with it. All right, so next they give you Tulane, the green wave, and the storyline is called Wave of Change, man. And pretty much they want you to take over Louisiana, take over the state from LSU and become the next powerhouse of LA. And then the recruiting restrictions is going to be Louisiana first. Only recruit players from Louisiana and Mississippi until you win a New Year's Six bowl. Next is you can only recruit 2 or 3-star players for the first 2 seasons unless they are a pipeline recruit. Also a pretty good restriction to put on. And then lastly, focus on speed, man. Tulane football is all about speed and flash. Only recruit players with at least 85 speed or similar metrics for positions. So for essentially, you're going to recruit D tackle, guess what? You gotta go with the speed rushers. Then you're going to recruit middle linebacker. You gotta go with the fastest guys, 85 speed or higher. Go with the fastest guys at every single position. That's a great idea, man. I can't lie. And then another prompt. First of all, y'all gotta tell y'all AI thank you, man. Y'all never know how this thing gonna go in the long run. So thank you for that. God tell them thank you. I want a chaos idea to use in my dynasty. Any ideas? So they essentially gave me 10 ideas. All of these ideas do not work, but some of them do. Transfer portal overload. You lose your top 2 players to the portal, and you pick. Like, that is a cool idea, man. That is a cool idea. You lose your top 2 players, pick randomly or remove them manually. And I went too far. So how it works, essentially the way ChatGPT came up with this, they want you essentially before each season, generate a random number or scenario and you could roll, and then pretty much 1 out of 10, you pick which one of these scenarios you're going to use for the year. Scenario 4 right here, lose 20% of your budget, resources, scholarships, cut staff. In college football is no real way to do that. What you can do is cut 25% of your roster. You could do that. That could be how you could interpret that rule. Rule 9 here, you could only recruit JUCO players for 1 season. That is tough. That is going to be a very difficult to have any success with that. You might sound the worst recruiting class in the nation if you could only go at the JUCOs. That's a tough one, man. Rival going wrong. You must put your biggest rival on the road every year. Another solid rule. Next, add 2 random Power 5 teams to your conference and play an unbalanced schedule, man. Like, a lot of these ideas are cool. All of them don't fully make sense for college or for the video game because that feature might not be in, but in some way you could still make it work. And obviously you could change these to your liking. You could just take a couple of your own, spin that wheel every year, and whatever happens, happens. How does this add chaos? You'll never get too comfortable as the dynasty can completely change based on a single role. Some seasons might be a breeze while others could leave you scrambling to adjust. Man, I couldn't have said it better. ChatGPT. Like, really though, it really could spice up your dynasty. If you find yourself getting a little bit bored, you don't know what team to use, you could go to some of these props. If you have a current dynasty, you could implement one of these rules. You could implement it before the season. You could do that rule, and whatever you land on, some seasons might not affect your dynasty at all. Other seasons, you might lose 20% of your roster. So another prop I came up with that you guys could do for whether it's your favorite team in college football, whatever you want to do. So I always tell them thanks. I want to do a Temple rebuild. Could you give me a storyline? They said better. Absolutely. Storyline, the rise of the Owls, man. First of all, shout out to the Temple series. Go over there, check it out. We're about to hit 100 episodes, and we have a very special thing coming for episode 100. So go check out the series. But what they gave me, Temple football has always been overshadowed by the big name programs in Pennsylvania like Penn State and Pitt. But the Owls are ready to take flight. Your mission is to revive Temple as a dominant force AAC and eventually turn them into a national powerhouse. Your focus on toughness, grit, and bringing Philadelphia pride back to the program. Man, that'll get you fired up. The story, the year is 2025 and Temple football program is in shambles, barely common to be relevant. Come on, man. We're not going to go that far about my Owls. But Philadelphia is known for a blue-collar grit, demands a football team that matches its city's energy. Your task of building a team that thrives on defense, wins in the trenches, and make Lincoln Financial Field a fortress once again, man. That's a pretty good storyline. I can't lie. Then you get into some recruiting restrictions / goals. Homegrown talent. Recruit heavily from Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware to lock down your backyard. You can only recruit outside the tri-state area if a player has Temple in their top 3 or is a 4-star or higher prospect. 2-star special. Temple isn't attracting the big name recruits yet. You're limited to signing no more than 1 4-star recruit per season until you win your first AAC championship. Underdog mindset. Focus on tough, defensive-minded players. You must build a defense ranked inside the top 50 nationally within 3 seasons. I mean, that's pretty cool, man. Even like the city swagger, they want you to schedule a team like Penn State, Rutgers, Syracuse, one of these Power 5 programs every single year. And then also your long-term goals, win the AAC within 4 years, land a top 25 recruiting class by year 5, upset a top 10 opponent on the road, build a Heisman candidate. Like, these are all pretty cool, man. Like, you could feel free to add any team to this and it'll just enhance it, man. It got me wanting to hop right into my Temple Dynasty and go play some games, man. And then the last thing I'm gonna give you guys, this is something you could use for your current dynasty wherever you're at. Always tell thanks. I want to spice up my Temple Dynasty and make some people transfer out. We are coming off our national championship season. Who should that be and why? And your star quarterback first. They trying to get right to it, man. They want our quarterback to transfer out. And it makes sense, kind of low-key, you know. Obviously, Carson Beck into the portal. They didn't win a national championship, but star quarterback transferred out of the program. I think it was surprising for a lot of people when he did that. And he did it for NIL opportunities, so you can always do that option. And then also they say a dominant defensive star, DN, linebacker, cornerback, whoever. And then also a talented wide receiver, a backup star that turned into a star in the playoffs. And it just gives you some good options here, man. Like, definitely a lot of things. You can obviously read through it. I read through a lot of stuff in this video, so I don't want to read through every single thing. I want y'all to be able to do some stuff your own and see what y'all want to make work. And like I said, these are just some ideas I thought of, man. If you have a current dynasty, you could put in names. This is my starting quarterback. This is my starting running back. Create a storyline for them. You know, you could do something along those lines. And it just make it a little bit more fun, man. Take it to a whole other level. I think I'm gonna do some stuff like this for one of my Dynasty series, whether it's probably gonna be a live streaming series where I'm gonna do it all based on AI and have AI make all the decisions in that Dynasty. And I think that'll be pretty cool. Y'all let me know if y'all want to see that. If y'all do want to see it, go over to my Twitch and drop a follow, because that's where we're going to do it at. But if y'all did enjoy this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. If y'all want to see a part 2 of this, I will be sure to drop it. Y'all let me know down below. Other than that, click the video on the screen now for my Temple rebuild.